not know that I had a bunch of subscribers. It's been my personal journey, and I'm real surprised, so thank you. But I just wanted to let everybody know that my narcissist died a week and a half ago. He died of a massive heart attack. We had been getting along, but he has lots of secrets. There's just, I mean, I've had to pretty much like stay away from not talking to his family. I finally was like, became part of the circle for a few days when he died, because I never have talked to his family unless either he was there. His best friend was the one that called and let me know. I had talked to Kyle at 11:06 on Wednesday, April 5th. He was saying, I don't feel good. Well, he'd been having heart pains for, well, pretty much ever since I knew him, but they were getting worse. And we had been on a road trip a couple weeks before, and he was driving my car, and he ended up like that, okay? And then he was foaming at the mouth, and we were in the middle of nowhere, and when we finally got somewhere, I got him some aspirin, but he didn't want to go to the hospital. I really do think that he knew that he was dying, and I had saw him that Sunday before he died, and we had went to the river, and he left about 8:30 or 9 o'clock. I had made dinner, but he didn't even want to stay to eat. He had to get back to his part of his secret life that he had. Well, he had this girl named Janice, and he said that Janice was gross, ugly, and disgusting, and that they were just friends. And I said, well, if she's gross, ugly, and disgusting, then why are you even dealing with her? Well, and that was that Sunday, and he just shrugged his shoulders. I don't know, Well, Janice, when I found out, Janice spent the night with him on Tuesday night. I didn't know that. I actually believe, when I look back at it now, that when I heard the coughing in the background, I was trying to piece it together when I was like, wait a minute, when did that happen? Because it happened a couple times. I believe, if my memory serves me right, I believed it happened on that on that Wednesday right before he died. And I said, who is coughing in the background, Kyle? Nobody. There's nobody. Kyle, I hear coughing in the background. Who is at your house? Nobody. Well, so Janice ended up, okay, let me back up. I cried and cried for days and days and days. Oh, my true love. Oh my God. Why you died? And the thing is that I had talked to him at 11:06, and he was real sick. And I said, please get off the roof and go home. And, so he did. I said, call me and let me know you made it home. So I know you're alive. Because I was feeling in my soul that he was going to die soon. And I even had told my brother that used to be his best friend that I felt like he was going to die. And he would never go and get any kind of help for his sickness. He never would. So, anyway, I thought I was going to die of a broken heart. I just had cancer. Cancer was taken out of my body. Then my cuff broke when we were having sex on February 15th for Valentine's Day. Little did I know how Janice was such a huge part of his life, and he was future faking with her. He was... Let me explain it this way. A narcissist needs to eat just like all of us, okay? And we are their kitchen. It's nice to have a plate, a fork, a knife, a cup, you know, a bowl, you know, so you can eat. And that's what we are to them. They feed on us, and we are just part of their kitchen. I'm like I always said I was his salt shaker. That's what I was. Crystal was his pepper shaker. You know, Janice, she was his fork. Well, Janice idolized him. My narcissist, I know, hated me. Even though his family said that he loved me, he hated me. He hated me that I had my own house. He hated me that I had my own car. He needed someone like Janice who idolized him and could not walk out her front door without holding his hand. I mean, she had PTSD really bad, so she couldn't even walk into a freaking restaurant and order a burrito. She was terrified of everything. So she counted on Kyle for everything, okay? And he needed women that had nothing. Crystal was the same way. She had no car. She had no life. You know, I think she sold dope. I think that's what she did. So, and she would go to man, and then she would make her way back around to him. So anyway, she died, he died with Janice at his house. He did go home. He never called me. He died. And I tried to talk to Janice. I texted her. When she finally replied back, and I said something very sweet and loving. Hey, I know that you really love him. I really thought they were just friends. I never thought they had intimacy, because she had even told me at one time they never did, but she lied. I know she did now. And she said that she allowed him to come to the hospital and hold my hand. She allowed him to come and have sex with me, and she allowed him to have sex with Crystal. Well, that just tells me that she allowed him to be the monster that he was with no consequence, okay? I think that if Kyle was alive today, he would tell me that that was crazy talk and that she didn't allow him to do anything. He did things on his own. But in her mind, that's how it was. She knew everything about me. She knew everything about me. He was going to her and telling her everything. Nevaeh, stop. He was going to her and telling her everything. And I have a friend named Guy. Quit. I have a friend named Guy. Sorry, she won't stop unless I tell her. Nevaeh, stop. I'm trying to talk. So, she knew about Guy. She knows about everything, okay? And I was like, I texted her and I said, look, I know you really loved him and I really loved him, but it's time for us to move on. We need to be strong through this. And he was a cheater and a liar. Well, she attacked me so badly, and I didn't even read most of the message because it was horrible. It was I screenshotted it, and it was 4 screenshots because she just went into this book about how he was compassionate, and he did those things like hold my hand because she allowed him to be nice to me because it gave me some kind of light to be around him and all this. So basically he was a whoremonger, and I don't believe he went to heaven. I do believe in heaven and hell, and I don't believe that he went to heaven. Now, for the first few days, I was so crushed. All I could do was think, my poor sweet baby, he died. Oh God, I just prayed for him all the time, and I wanted to trust that I could love him out of hell. I could love that narcissism out of him. And I told God that morning, I prayed and I said, I cannot walk away, God. I have to love him until one of us passes away. I have to. I love him unconditionally, and I don't know what to do about this relationship except to love him. Well, that was probably about 9 o'clock in the morning. He died. His official death was 2:36 is what it was. I am going through so many emotions, y'all. So, I am so broken because of the abuse. I mean, he was a malignant narcissist, and he was so dead inside. And I'm hurting so horribly bad from all of it, just going through all the spit screaming that he did to me, and the gaslighting, and accusing me, always accusing me of other men. Even standing, I was in the hospital one time back in like 2019 for a pancreatitis, and he showed up. And I woke up and I thought it was a demon standing over my bed. It was him. And he told me that I was taking naked pictures. I was taking boob shots and sending them to other men while I was in the hospital. I mean, that's what kind of abuse I had to go through. I wasn't even safe in the hospital, y'all. And I wanted to remember the good times. I wanted to remember that we went to the park and the lake and all the fun times and our swimming together and, you know, our walking the dogs, because we always were walking the dogs. But then I remembered how he told me, all you ever do is just walk dogs. And then he was like, oh yeah, well, I guess I really don't do very much anyway, so I guess that's fine if we can just go walk dogs. He hated me. He freaking hated me. He hated me for who I was. If I was trying to tell him about something that I read about, that I knew about, he told me that I was stupid. And I'm like, just hear me out. Just listen to me. No, you're stupid. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Shut up. You're a busy me. That's what I went through for 7 years. And I was with a narcissist before him named Ted. And I went to Kyle, and I truly loved him with my heart. I went to him because I saw something in him. I saw this magic man in him. And I had known him since he was about 12. And I was like 14, 15 years old. He was my brother's best friend. And we had that little special thing when we looked in each other's eyes. We weren't together then, but there was just like this little thing that we had. And then we wound up together, 40 years later. And look at the result. I mean, I do remember laying in bed after we made love one night. And he told me, he said, I told him, I said, I love you. And he goes, and this was like 2 weeks later after we got together. And he said, you don't want to love me. I will fuck your head up. Well, he did. He did. And he accused me of everything that he was doing. I was always faithful to him. I only wanted to live a good life with him. A peaceful life with him, but he hated me. He hated me. I remember he told me all the times, like I remember, okay, I have a shirt on, okay, and my nipple would get hard because it was cold, and he would tell me, he would go, only whores let their nipples get hard. I can't help it, it's cold. Well, you're a whore. You're a whore. That's the kind of abuse I went through. Every day, if I was smiling, he was going to make sure that he wiped that off of my face. I kicked him out because I rebuked him for being abusive to me, and then he invited Satan into my house. He screamed it. I'm not even going to say the words. He screamed it, and he invited Satan into his body in my house. Well, let me tell you, the man told me that he had demons. He had a demon that watched him sleep, and that made him feel comfortable. It protected him. There's a reason that Kyle had mental illness. It had to do with his sister and what he witnessed, if you get my drift, and by his father. And I won't say anymore. I'm not going to shame that family like that, but I hurt so much for everything, for all the love that I gave him, that he never cared. And he stopped spit screaming in my face, but he still